What's good?
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
Welcome to the Wisdom and Kalen Show. I know I told you that we would be shooting some videos and keeping everybody up to date with our progress so that you can learn more about investing in real estate if that's something that you want to do. And most importantly, before you go out and just buy a home and do something crazy, you have to have a goal in mind. And the best way to do that is to reverse engineer of what it is that you want to accomplish. What's your FN, which is your freedom number. So our freedom number, what our goal for this initial project is to have $20K, $20,000 cash flow coming in, split between the both of us, right? So I'm going to show you our formula, and you can use that to figure out what it is that you want to accomplish. You don't have to go this route, but this will give you an idea of what we are doing. So first thing first is we're in the hood. Our average house will cost $35,000, right? Now, there's so many ways to buy a $35,000 house. Whether you just go out and buy a house that's already done, full $35,000 and it's totally renovated, and you just start getting the cash flow in, well, that's not our goal, because you can get the most cash flow when you buy the house that needs a little bit of work. You create more of a negotiation leverage. So what we're doing, on average, our average house, $35,000.
Yo, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. 35,000 is like super cheap, and I know there's like a ton of people who are like super skeptical. I mean, I've heard tons of people be like, I would never buy down there in the hood or the section A or whatever, but I can just tell you, like, Eric is definitely proving it for sure on the value like you can create. Like, very rare can you bring this much cash flow that we're about to show you per month without doing this way, and your overhead and your management fees and your maintenance fees are so low if you do them right. Like, it's crazy, but like, we're gonna shoot another video on that for sure. But just be aware that this is literally like the best. For us, it's gonna be the best way. Now, if we find a better way, we'll figure that out. But like, for now, this is clutch.
Yeah, and to touch on what he was saying, some people prefer 50 to 100 units, but that's not my vision. 50 to 100 units at one time, it actually cuts down your cash flow, because if you buy an apartment building, you become responsible for the water, for parts of the electric, the maintenance on the property, the landscaping. And with these homes, when you put a tenant into these homes, they're fully responsible for keeping the grass cut. They're responsible for the water bill. They're responsible for the electric. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is collect the rent and maintain the property's integrity. So I chose these properties for two main reasons, right? I grew up really poor in this area of homes, and it produces the highest cash flow. And this is a third bonus reason, is because I believe that a lot of the areas that I grew up in, they need to be improved. And the only way that you can improve them is for people like us that are going in and renovating these homes and teaching people how to take care of their homes. So look, let's check this out. So let's use the house that we just purchased. We just got our first house. We're closing on it next week. This is exactly how it played out. So the house was $12,000, right? And what was our budget for renovations?
We want to be more than 24, so it's 12.
So
No more than 12.
our goal for this home was to stay under $12,000 of renovation. So this is the cost of the home. And it was $12,000 for the renovation. Now, I don't know if I'm spelling that right, but this is not a spelling bee. This is a real estate school. If you want the spelling class, I'll get somebody else for that. So check this out, 12,000, that puts me at having $24,000 total into the home. That's my total budget, right? Now this is actually, we got $1,000 buffer because our goal is actually to stay under $25,000 of total renovations and total cost of the home. So what that does is if we end up at $25,000, that gives us $10,000 of equity.
We actually have more than that because, like, possibly if everything works out right, we might have probably like even $3,000 to $4,000 buffer if AC unit get that checked, which is looking really good, and some of the bathroom stuff in the bathroom and whatnot. That stuff all pans out good. We're definitely gonna be like right around 22, and so we're gonna have like even more, up to 13,000 of equity, which is gonna be super dope. So hopefully that works out.
And equity right here, we can shoot a video on that later, but this is where you're really gonna start to create your wealth. It's okay to have the cash flow, what I'm gonna get into, but this is how you create the wealth and the leverage with the banks. Because if you times that by 100, that's what the value of your company is. Now you may not be able to go and pull that out cash instantly. It'll take you some time to liquidate it, but you can leverage that when you need more cash to build your company. So check this out. This is our exact formula. So when we're buying this house cash for $12,000 and we're gonna spend our own cash, the other $12,000 renovating it, right? So after we've done that, we're gonna take this home, after we spent our own cash on it, we're gonna take this home and give it to the bank, and we're gonna ask for 80% of our money back. I'm gonna ask for 80% of my money back from the bank. So that's normally what the banks do whenever you go into these rental properties. If you're buying a house at $35,000 cash, or I'm sorry, not cash, but if you're financing it, you're gonna spend $35,000. They require you to put down 20%. So we just reversed it. We're gonna pay for it cash and get 80% back.
That's gonna be about 19,200, so 19,000 that you'll probably get back, which it should be the average. No one does less than that. Some do, but it just all depends.
Now, well, technically, do this because what we're gonna have them appraise it.
Right.
And we're gonna get 20% of 35,000. So 35,000 times 0.20 is
7,000.
So 7,000 less than 35, that is, we're gonna have a loan for about 28,000, right? Is that what that is?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what our loan will be. And now I'm gonna break down to you what a payment looks like on that type of loan and what the cash flow will look like so that I can hit my $20,000 a month goal. All right, so look, check this out. A mortgage on a $28,000 home, financing it for 20 years at, let's just say 5 to 6%, that's what an investment loan will be. What will my payment be?
Right around $180 a month.
180, okay? So we're at $180 a month for the mortgage payment, right? Next, I can't just have a house and not insure it. I have to make sure that I get landlord insurance, right? So on average, these houses really don't require a high premium because they're not really that expensive. So your average insurance on a home like this will probably be about $60 a month, right?
Yep.
So this is insurance on a home, right? And then what else I need for the home is if you are to this level, you may not be to this level, but I am. And I do not have time to manage all of these properties myself, so I pay a management company to take care of all of that for me. Let's just say that the average management company out there, I won't disclose what I get mine at, but I'll tell you what the average management company costs. It's somewhere between 10 to 12% of what the rent is. So look, let's just use 10%, and I'm gonna rent this home out, but it's gonna be gorgeous. I'm gonna rent this home out for $900 a month, right? So do me a favor, and let's just say we go off the average of the 10% of what a management company will cost you. So 10% of that $900 is $90, right? So $90 for management. Now once you get to this level, like I said again, this is not a spelling bee. It looks beautiful though, that's some good penmanship. So look, so $90 for the management. Now this is what the management company is gonna do. If you don't wanna meet your tenants and you don't wanna go out and have leases signed, you don't want to do evictions, you don't want somebody calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning telling you that their sink is leaking, that's where the management company comes in. And you're talking about a $90 Tylenol. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, for real. I mean, like, the best way to set yourself up is do it this way, because you don't do anything. I mean, honestly, the last thing I want to do, and this is what I do for a living, is I build custom homes and custom just about anything when it comes to the house. And the handyman stuff's the worst, by far the worst. So like, especially if you're doing this on the side and you got a full-time job, like you really, really want to be like managing themselves like this. Probably not. So like the best thing to do is to get into the houses where you can afford it, not spending $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 with crazy amount of 20, 30 year payment, loan at the bank, and you're paying what, $500, $600 a month. Your rent's only $950, $1,000, maybe $1,100 depending on the area. So there's not a big difference when it comes to the price unless you're down here. So like it's a super, super cool system.
Right. So, like I said, that is a $90 Tylenol. So when you get to the level that we're at with the properties, you times that by 50 units. Imagine getting just half of the calls every night that you don't have to worry about. Now the management company, they're gonna take care of the evictions if you get the proper management company, and you will have to pay attention to the management companies because they can be a little shifty. So you just have to pay attention to where your money's going. And this allows you right here, this is not only a $90 Tylenol, this allows you the freedom to be able to work on your company and to not work in your company. You want to be working on building the company, not worried about getting calls from Billy and Jody. Let's go to the next thing. So look, so these houses are going to be in tip-top shape. I know that $35,000 seems so cheap, but I promise these houses are going to look gorgeous, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So on average, I call this a buffer maintenance fee. So this is a buffer maintenance fee. Now, if you go in and renovate these houses and they look in their tip-top shape, you shouldn't have to worry about going in and having to fix a sink or fix the toilet or fix the plumbing. Now, normally when they move in, there are like a little bit of kinks that you have to work out, but it's never anything major. If you make a house in tip-top shape, you really shouldn't get any calls from a tenant almost for 3 to 4 years, as long as if they stay in the home. I call this a buffer maintenance fee. So look, let's just assume that that does happen and you have to have some normal maintenance. I put $100 here because I know that my houses are in tip-top shape, and so keep this in mind. If you don't make your houses in tip-top shape, this maintenance, monthly maintenance, is going to go up. And again, the management company is responsible. If the sink leaks, the management company comes out and takes care of it. So I'm just averaging that every month, my maintenance fee is going to cost about $100. Now this is really high. This is just a buffer. So even if it's at $15 to $20 and you don't spend that much, good. Just add it as equity into the company so that you can reinvest it. Next, what is the next thing that I need inside of this home? So I got a mortgage payment, I got insurance, I've got my management fee, and I've got my average maintenance. What else do I have in there?
Property tax.
Property tax. Key. So check this out. Now these houses aren't expensive again. So the average property tax for the year for these homes are about $650. So $650.
It's about $50 a month.
So okay,
Yeah, but
okay. Let's say
600.
600. So let's say $55 a month. $55 a month is going to go towards property tax. Now this is Uncle Sam right here. You cannot avoid Uncle Sam. Whether you pay this monthly or pay this at the end of the year, you're still going to pay it. And if you're not taking care of that and you end up back on your property taxes, they can take your property. So we're going to avoid that. We take out $55 a month for the property tax so that we can be able to write a check to Uncle Sam at the end of the year and move on. What else do we have? So we got mortgage payment, $60 for insurance, $90 for my management fee, $100 for maintenance, $50 for property tax.
That's about it.
Is there anything else I'm leaving out?
No, man. I mean, that's.
There is.
Vacancy maybe, but that's not even.
That requires another video, but I'll just give you a briefing of what it is. So this is for cap calls, vacancy rate. So sometimes a lot of these homes, if they're not properly managed and they look hideous, you end up having a high turnover rate and you're not doing the proper vetting. Your management company may not be doing the proper vetting, making sure that they get the right tenant in there so that they can pay 3 times the rent. You want to make sure that they're making 3 times the rent. So if their rent's $900, you want to make sure that they're making $2,700 a month. In some cases, some management companies do a poor job and they don't find the proper tenants. So you may get a tenant that gets behind on the rent and you have to evict them. So this is a vacancy buffer. So let's just say that my vacancy buffer, I'll say that it is $25 a month. Now that's high, but if it happens, I want to be able to have that buffer for the 2 to 3 weeks that my house may be vacant, or if I have to go in and get some renovations, but that comes out of the deposit. So this is for vacancy, right? Now I am doing this in the most elementary way so that you can learn just the logistics of it. So let's add all of that up so we can see what our total is going to cost us to have this home. Okay, so what does that come to?
Totaling $510 a month.
This?
Yeah.
$510. $510 a month. And my rent was $900. So what does that leave me with cash flow?
It's gonna come right to $390.
This number less this number is how I get my monthly cash flow. So what does it come to?
It's gonna come to $390.
$390. I want to average $400 a unit. So these numbers,
It's really high too, man.
I average them high just to give you a buffer so that you're not going out. But this mortgage payment may be low. You can alter this a little bit and have your mortgage come down if you finance it. Oh, by the way, these houses are financed or amortized on 20 years. 20 years at maybe somewhere between a 5 to 6% rate. I know that you may see that as high, but investment rates are pretty high because it's an investment property. So let's just say my average cash flow is $510 less than $900, and that leaves me with $390 a month.
And this $100 maybe to spend, especially like in the beginning, if you're doing like a total, for the most part, total rehab, you do everything right and correctly. I'm talking like right colors, painting. Paint is like a miracle. So like all the trim painting right, all the plumbing. We'll get into detail like in some other stuff, but like PEX, like just quality materials for your plumbing, which is a big deal actually. Plumbing is like the big cost thing, like a lot of rental homes. So like if you do it right, the next like 3-4 years, you won't ever touch this. So you're automatically going up $100. I feel like at $490, pretty close. I mean, you may take out half, so it'll be like, $440, but either way, it's gonna be in the 4 plus, because if you do it right, if you're doing everything right, all your quality control, building and rehabbing, you're gonna be a lot higher than this. This is just like the super bottom, and a lot of our homes and a lot of his homes are average way better than this, up to 450. So that's what we got.
This just gives you an idea of how it works whenever you break down this cash flow. So let's just say, let's go back and shake some things out, because I went high on the property tax, but the average property tax, like I said, is somewhere between $550 to $650. So let's just say that this ends up, so we can use a round number. Let's say that my property tax is only $50, and I take my vacancy rate down here to $20 because I made the house so nice. Now keep in mind, if you end up getting a tenant on a 2-year lease and they don't move out of the house, times that by 12, that's the money that you're gonna get to keep in your company so that you can reinvest it. This just goes right back into your company's pocket. So now, with me shaving those two numbers, taking 5 off of there and 5 off of there, I'm right. Let me see your blue marker. I'm right at an even $400 a month cash flow. So let's just say that that may be your goal, where after everything is paid off, after my tenants are taken care of, after my management company is taken care of, after my home is well maintained, I'm gonna get $400 of cash flow. Cash flow a month.
It's a beautiful word, man.
Cash flow.
Right here.
So check that out. Like I said, this ain't no spelling bee. It is all good. So look, check this out. $400 a month of cash flow. Now you get into figuring out what your freedom number is. Now we can talk about that in a later video, and you can multiply that number by 10 if that's your freedom number. You can multiply that by 20 if that's your freedom number. So you can figure out, if your current job, you're bringing home $5,000 a month and you want to be able to walk away from your job, how many units do you need? I'll save that for the next video, but this is what we wanted to touch on. This is a breakdown of the formula of what we are geared towards and how we're creating that cash flow, so that we can build up the proper company and change the community that looks like a lot of these areas, like I said, are really crappy. And when you get two guys like myself come in and revamp them, we're gonna change the whole entire community. The neighbors are even gonna benefit from it, because we're making these houses look beautiful and making things affordable. So tune in to the next video and we will break down your freedom number and how many units it takes to get to your freedom number. Thanks for tuning in. We love it.